Hey everybody, it's Metaphysical Matters for April 16th, 2020 with psychic Angela Faye Moore. I'm Kim Clark, and Angela, another crazy week. I don't know about you, but it's been really emotional around here this week. I mean, it's like all of our issues are being pulled up and we're having to look at them and deal with them.
Yes. I don't know what else to say. Okay, I just changed my view on this, so maybe I could look at you and actually see you. Does it look like I'm looking at you right now? Because I'm trying to look at you.
Yes.
Good. Finally. So anyway, it's been a nerve-wracking week.
Oh, yeah.
And it's what I figured would happen, too, that people are going to be more on edge, unpredictable, emotional. Oh my gosh, people I've been talking to have been, some of them have just been really intensely angry. And it's not necessarily because of the shut-in. I think they've already been that way, but it's just some things are happening in their life to cause that to come to the surface. And also, I'm having a lot of people, I don't know, just, I'm looking for the right word, ready to start over. Ready to start their life over. And the good news is, for some people, that might mean that they're having new things come to them, or imagining new things. But then for some people, it means this person imagining their new life might not include them. So sometimes it's a really great thing if you imagine a new life that's going to be great for you, but sometimes it's not so good for people whose partner is imagining that life, and it means that they're going to have a new life they did not want to have. So I'm trying to say there could be more opportunities for breakups, good or bad. Sometimes things need to be broken, but sometimes they don't. But that's what I'm seeing. And if you're a Sagittarius, buckle, gird your loins, buckle up, gird your loins, whichever applies to you, because from what I'm seeing, Sagittarius and Pisces too, are feeling a lot of stuff. They're getting caught up in other people's emotions, and they're having things happen that they don't have a lot of control over. And they're on the threshold. And if nobody's the same, everybody's different. You might be a Pisces at the best time of your life. Just as general, do not absorb it. If it's not you, it's not you. But in general, what I'm seeing. And then like I said, the Sagittarius, it's been like every day I get a distraught Sagittarian. And it's all the same thing. It's like stuff is just coming to their surface. And Sagittarius, I'm just talking in general. Every human is different, okay? But they seem to be, I don't know, stuff comes to the surface and they got to get rid of it, and there it is. And that's not a bad thing, but it can be sometimes an unpleasant thing for them, and sometimes for people around them, depending on who you are.
Ellen's a Sagittarius, and she's been going through what you're talking about. But I have been too. I mean, we were talking this morning after we had a big emotional release, I would say. But it's like all these old emotions that have been buried and pushed down. It's like something's almost pulling them out like a magnet right now. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah. That's exactly the way to say it. It is like a magnet taking stuff to the surface, whether you wanted it to or not. A forced confinement maybe can bring that out. It sure, seems to be doing that. And that can be a very difficult and deadly thing to a relationship. It can be a blessing. It depends, I guess, on how you decide you're going to work through it.
Yeah. So your clients that you talked to this week, is it still people mostly talking about our collective situation, or are people starting to move on and talk more about what they're going to be doing in the future and that kind of thing?
No, they're more like talking like they always do about their right now.
Okay.
No, yes, some people are planning, of course, future stuff, but not like when this is over, but like, I'm making this happen now. And as it goes on, they deal with that. Like for me, as we were just talking, if things work out properly, I may be moving a big 2 miles away. Maybe 3. Ooh. But, I did find the house. I did make an offer, and he did accept it. But still, there's got to be some stuff. I have to sell this house firstly, and I got to make sure there's no unexpected surprises in that house. And, people change their mind. Things happen. but I'm downsizing. I don't need it upstairs. I don't need a basement. I don't need to heat it, cool it. And I need a bigger room for the boy. And I need something with a less yard because, James ain't getting no younger.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So I'm making a plan, but at the same time, it's happening right now. So I expect to see more than that of that happening. And if it doesn't work out, I'll probably just give up and stay home. But we'll see what happens.
Before we got started, when we were still getting situated, you said that dreams seem to be people's dream time seems to be really active right now.
I'm spelling Rose, by the way. You gave me this because I had read that it helps people's memories. And I got it for my ADD kid because he has trouble with memory. And I just thought, you're just trying to sniff it and see if it would help me stay on track. And I love Rose.
I think I read somewhere that that's one of the highest vibrational substances there is rose essential oil.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I love it. And I don't know if that's what made him hyperlight's not there. Maybe he took one sniff too many, but he was bouncing off some walls. What were we talking about? I'm so sorry.
Dreams being very active right now.
Yeah, I've had some people talking to me, about their dreams lately, and I think they reflect, obviously, we're in an intense situation right now. So obviously that's going to come out in your dream time. But also it does seem, too, that for a lot of people, their dreams may be getting to be a little more significant, maybe telling a person a little bit more about who they are, telling a person a little bit more about what they need. I do think, too, that the spiritual visits are on the upswing, too. Now, I do. Speaking of that little house, when I walked into it, I felt the spirit of a little old lady in there, sure as I'm sitting here. But I didn't feel bad about it. I felt like I just spoke to her and told her I'd like to have her house. I felt fine about her. But I do think spiritual activity is a little more on the upswing, you might say. I think it's because, people are stressed. It's like we're being it feels like we're in a laboratory and we're being put in a stress test to see what happens. And whether it was meant to intentional or not, I doubt it because there's too much money being wasted for it to be intentional. But still, you would be stupid not to take advantage of what you would learn in such a situation. But it does, like that test tube, stress test, and it's hard and it's affecting people in ways that are probably unexpected at times. I had a point to that, but I don't know what it is. But yeah, I feel like there's all kinds of information gleaned from whatever is happening, from the things like you and I are doing right here. We're talking about things. This is going to be teaching somebody probably somewhere, some scientist somewhere. I've got a vision of a far side scientist, looking in his lab. So anyway, but yeah.
I dreamed last night, and I should write down dreams, and we all should, because we forget them. But I guess what we need to glean from them, we retain. But I dreamed last night about seeing the founding fathers and the Constitution, and I swear this is what I dreamed, and the Bill of Rights, and I saw a list of things to do, and one of the lists was we have to accept our rights. I really felt like this was being very strongly enforced in my dream. Like we got to remember these rights and accept them and take them in.
Yeah, that you need to be reminded of what's important and what's not when it comes to things like that. So I think that's a significant dream. I think your dream is maybe saying to you to define your space, and what is right, define what's right. And then sometimes you take that in. You don't just go after them. You don't just explain them or whatever. You actually remember. That is the right word I think I want to use for you. Remember what your rights are. You better remember. If you don't, you won't have them.
You're talking you're talking to all of us.
Yeah, I'm talking to all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. We're right on the line of in the name of safety, losing a lot. We're just going to have to really be vigilant right now. Very, very vigilant. This kind of leads into a subject that you said somebody suggested that we talk about a little more in depth this week, and that is about anxiety.
Well, I don't know if anxiety can get much worse for a lot of people, especially, again, let me just say, as I said to someone earlier, teachers do not get paid enough. Whatever they're making, it doesn't matter. There is no amount of money that is enough. And I feel like this is a lesson. This is a lesson. I'm reminded of that old fairy tale, about where the husband once thought his job was easier, wife thought her job was easier. And, so he took the cow out and thought it would be a good idea, or she did, well, I don't know. Somebody put the cow on the roof because they had a roof where you could, grass grew up there. Good gosh, I can't talk. And, the other one was in there trying to fix the food and everything else. And of course, what happened was there was a complete disaster. And I think now we've been put in a position where we're going to see how other people have to live, to see what other people's roles are and how to take on those roles of doctor, nurse, teacher, janitor, and maid, whatever else we got to do. So I think it could lead to a greater appreciation. And also, it's like forced meditation. You're going to be times maybe you got to just sit. And this sometimes is a very good thing, and sometimes it's a hard thing, where you have to sit with yourself. And who the heck are you now?
Mm.
Have you changed since you was 13 years old? Because I've seen people that they hadn't. You've seen people too, Kim, I'm sure, that they actually, their hair, their clothes, everything is the same as when they were like 20. And hey, if that makes you happy, you do what makes you happy. Nothing wrong with it. But I'm saying it's not necessarily sometimes that they're just not remembering to grow with the times. They're not remembering that maybe they're not that same person. And then sometimes they are, but sometimes you need to look and see, am I the same person or not? Maybe I'm changing. Sometimes you do that too by looking back. You look back and you realize this is the music I used to listen to. This is the TV I used to watch. This is the people I used to know. And it can bring back a lot of good memories, a lot of bad memories, but it can help you resolve a lot of stuff. It can help you forgive a lot of stuff. It can help you reorganize this into something that is more fitting for the future that is ahead. By the way, here's this picture I thought somebody else killing. I had a client flew us. I'm not anywhere alone. If he hadn't went with me, I'd still be circling LaGuardia Airport to this day. This is like 1999, I think. We went up there, and this is us. Yep, and there is. You see that? That's my tiara. That was the one thing about myself. And for years, I took bubble baths and I wore my tiara.
Oh, I forgot about that. You remember what else
Didn't
you buy a feather boa that day too? Didn't you get a feather boa?
I bought a boa. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened to that thing. I wish I still had that boa, because you know who'd want that? The boy.
Well, you remember.
I'm sorry, but my boy would love a boa.
You remember where we got that? And we were like two, country girls, McDowell County girls in New York City. We went into a drag queen shop. And remember, it was under the street level.
Yeah.
And we went in there and thought, because they had feather boas kind of out in the breeze, and that's what caught your attention. And so we went down there, and I didn't even realize it until much later. Oh my God, we were in a drag queen shop. But you got
I loved it.
Yeah, but you got a tiara and a feather
boa. Yeah, and like I said, I've worn that thing until it broke, and I wish I had another. I do. I wish I had another one. Can't take a bubble bath anymore unless I get me one of them walk-in tubs. It's too hard to get it out of. It's like, oh my God, there's days I can do it, and then there's other days it's like I just twirl around in the soap like a big old beached whale. And, beached whale can't flip around, and it's like I hate asking James to come in there blindfolded to give me a hand up. It's just bad. It's just bad is what it is.
Okay.
Anyway.
Speaking of anxiety, you just spiked mine up a few more notches. So
okay.
What's a good thing we can do right now on a psychic level to kind of quell our anxiety? I know one thing I'm doing, which is unplug from the news a little bit, because it is all about the scary all the freaking time.
Honestly, you hit the headlines. I do think that they are manipulating the heck out of us in ways that are not right, not proper. But at the same time, I don't think it's wise to be just ignoramuses either. So, go ahead and hit the get the headlines, but don't absorb it, and maybe balance it out too. There's those good news things too. Find you some good news once in a while. Something might have happened in the world today, that that you could look at, that people helping people, for example. Hey, that's one good thing coming out of this too. You got people maybe helping somebody once in a while instead of, dragging them down. So do that, and then socialize if you can online. People are social animals. The end. Yeah, I know you got you introverts here. I'm an introvert. You got them, and I'm not. This isn't that much of a different life for me, to be honest. I never go anywhere anyway. But at the same time, you got to have a human connection once in a while to stay balanced. So, these social medias and stuff like that, because it's good to remember you're human, and that can keep you connected, to a degree. And if you don't have to, I mean, sometimes, like I said, some of the introverts, and probably you included, are like, yes, I don't have to worry about anybody coming in over here today. Let me take some of that rose again.
The thing is, though, Ellen and I have been noticing this too. For the first few weeks of this, it was like all kinds of funny memes, and everybody's having fun, and they're reenacting famous paintings at home with their family members, and all that's kind of drifting away now because we're over it. And so,
yeah, you want to kill somebody at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, you always look like that. Yeah, I mean, really, it's not natural. I mean, it is. It's not natural to be like this. I mean, golly, bun, what I'd love to go to a movie right now. Oh my God, what I'd love to go to a movie. Just, yeah, it's awful. But people are starving to death in the world. I got nothing to complain about in reality, but still, it's hard. There it is. I might not live through it. I'm an older person. If I get it, I don't know if I'll make it. So I'm trying to enjoy while I can. But, I'm planning for a future. If I make it, I make it.
Yeah.
It is hard and it is scary, but it is what it is. And you got today. You got today. We could be living, everything's hunky-dory just fine to get hit by a Mack truck tomorrow. You don't know. So you got to live your best life today.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And, I guess if we are feeling really anxious today and feeling a lot of stress, because all the stressors that are in our relationships, that are there for a reason. You draw people in your life for a reason. I feel like right now is when the what hits the fan, and we got to deal with this stuff. But if you do get like really anxious, you've probably heard all the suggestions about going outside and getting out in nature and working out in the yard and stuff, if that's available. And we've talked.
That's available. They're slowly even taking that away. And I tell you that you can't. Again, I get that big old let's experiment and see what happens vibe with that, and I don't like it.
Yeah, because it's like when things are letting up, then they'll kind of squeeze a little bit more. Yesterday we went to Ingalls, and not in this county, because in this county people I think have a lot of common sense. But we went in another county. And the fear was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, everybody's wrapped up like freaking mummies, and they were literally running from each other in the store. It almost made me heartsick to see people behaving that way. I couldn't believe it.
It's like they might have. I'm not judging them, because I'm probably one of them that's going to run away too. It's like, I don't want to be sick. I mean, I can't afford to be sick. I got a child to raise. James has got issues. If he gets this, he's not going to make it. Chances are, if I get this, I might make it, I might not. There's a good chance I won't. So it's like you're looking at you're looking at death for a lot of people, and then for a lot of people they're looking at a couple of days out of work. So for a lot of people it's much of nothing, but for a lot of people, somebody's grandma, it ain't. But anyway, it's fear. It is. It's a disease within itself. I'm not, it is. It's a fear within itself.
Absolutely.
And it's taken all the joy I live in. And I read somewhere they're thinking it's the last of 2022, and I thought, no, I can't do that.
In my opinion, that's another way to gin up fear, is to put out these absolute nightmare scenarios. Because
I think we'll come up with a vaccine though by then.
Well, they'll have to run me down and give it to me.
Oh, that won't me. I'll be first in line. I do not want to be sick, and I'll be happy to take it. They will have I felt like June was a turning point for this. I was hoping maybe by June it would be like maybe leveling. So I felt like June might be a turning point, but I also felt things maybe could go on through November too. And oddly enough, I was talking to actually the doctor the other day, and he said he felt November real strong. But I'm hoping sooner. I'm hoping June. I'm thinking it'll probably be in layers is what I'm getting, more in layers. But, we can never, ever, ever change anything if we don't have a treatment or we don't have, a vaccine or we don't have something, because it's like the lion outside your door. The lion will never leave. It's never going anywhere. So eventually, I guess you get drove out to take your best shot or get eaten. I don't know.
But, just to say one other thing about anxiety before we move on, we've talked in the past about some things you can do to calm your physical body. And just a real quick recap of some of those is just, hold this point here and put your hand right here. That's very calm.
Ooh, it's sore. Good gosh, it's sore.
Actually, I have told you this before, any place that's sore, make sure you rub it and get that stuck energy out. But where
it's right on my breastbone.
Okay, that's your thymus. Be sure you keep working that. That's your immune system.
It's actually making me cough. It's allergies. I don't have it.
Yeah, that's your immune system. But for anxiety, right up here in this notch, right here at your throat, like if you were a man and you're tying your tie, where the bow would, not the bow, but where the tie would be, that notch right there, and then right here, hold for a few minutes and breathe deeply. That'll calm your nervous system. And then
when you do breathe down, make your breath go down into your lower part of your lungs. Don't breathe up here, breathe down here.
Yes, absolutely. And then also we talked about just smoothing behind the ears and coming down here like this. That just smooths that triple warmer energy. And this, yeah. And
I forget this. You need to text me every day and tell me to do my smoothing and stuff, because I can't remember. I just go around and yell at everybody.
That works too. Okay, Judy, who in Kansas, who joins us a lot, wanted you to talk about. She actually, I think, woke up day before yesterday with it in her mind that she needed to tell you to talk about people who speak in tongues.
Well, that's a difficult subject in a way, because, I don't want to step on anybody's religious toes, but of course, a lot of people believe that some people do speak in the tongues of angels, and they can do that and not even know what they're saying. And I'm not going to argue with that at all. And I think there are two times that maybe entities could speak through us in ways that we're not going to understand. I think you might have to be maybe in a state of religious fervor to have the one thing happen. But, I got to thinking about that time, and, I've already told this story about when you and I were up there in the mountains, and I went inside that crack in the mountain and I started speaking, and I thought I was speaking English, but I was not. And it kept going over and over and over in my mind, and it was like I kept having an image, extremely strong image of a Native American who I think his name was Grandfather, which I also felt at a different place down in Old Fort on a big old rock. It's like Grandfather is a part of nature, part of the rock, part of whatever. Anyway, and as you know, I was saying something nobody understood, and I think you thought I'd just gone more mental than usual. But then a lady that I know used some Cherokee said that, one of the words, or actually she did, and then it was actually, oddly enough, on the WNCW, there was some sort of ad come on about the learning Cherokee, and the weirdest thing, because one of the words that I did kind of get a grip when I was in that stage, that I did remember saying, they were actually saying it on there, and I can't tell you now what it was. I just remembered that. But it was like, oh my God, that's the word, and how bizarre! I'm hearing this on this commercial now. That was bizarre. But again, as the message was, in case people didn't hear me say before, when the mountains begin to walk, then you'll know the end days have come. I know that's weird. Take it or leave it. I'm just a messenger. I'm assuming that refers to earthquakes maybe in the mountainous areas of this part of the world. I don't know. But anyway, it could just be me being mental. But the thing is, I do believe that when people are in a heightened spiritual state, they in fact may be able to translate through a language that they do not speak, and maybe others speak, and maybe someone can translate that what they're saying from a higher source. They would be a channel for that higher source. And again, I think it may be special people or people in a special state of mind would be maybe about that. Okay, that's all I can take. That's all I know.
Yeah. Okay. You said,
Sounds so disappointed just then. Maybe you know something I don't. You gotta say, oh, okay. That was a letdown.
I was, I thought there'd be fireworks or something.
No,
Don't you have a dance to go with that?
well, yes. In some faiths, absolutely, there is a dance to go with that. Some in Christian faith, and in some actually, you go to the religious, what do you call it? Fervor. It's not the right word, but in some of the other
Yeah, I guess religious ecstasy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think it can happen, to people when they're not even in a religious state, but when they're out of their, maybe half out of their body, half in another realm, maybe allowing other forces to come in. I don't think that's something people should actually seek out, by the way, but whatever, things happen.
We went to, there was a Christmas kind of program in Old Fort a couple of years ago.
Hold on a minute. Do you hear this little sound like a bell? Let me figure out how to turn this off. In case you're wondering, that's Dylan, who is at his other grandmother's, and he does not text me, Gigi. He's texted, "Come get me, Gigi, 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 Gigi." I said, "Hey." Then it's like, "Come get me." Why does he do that? Why does he send like 20 Gigis in a row?
That means he really, really, really wants you to come and get him.
That's his habit, though. Okay, in a minute. Sorry, people. Grandma Dee Dee's call. Go ahead, Kim. Be talking.
No, one thing I was going to say was I have been around people who spoke in tongues when I was a kid and went to some fundamentalist churches. But then year before last, we went to a Christmas tree lighting thing in Old Fort, and they rotate different churches through this, and they had a pastor from a church that has that in their services, and so the pastor spoke in tongues some, and I had not heard that in a long time, and it really is. I mean, there's a lot of energy in that. I mean, he had a lot of energy in it. I will say that it was very powerful. I'm not going to pretend that I understood what was going on, but there was a lot of power in it.
No, there you go.
Yeah. Now you sent me an article to, the UFO stuff and all the stuff we usually talk about. It seems like everything is taken a back seat to, everything that's going on now with our collective situation. But you did send me this one article about a mysterious UFO sighting during the day. And this was in Russia, in Siberia. Let's say there's been an inordinate amount of UFO sightings over the past several months, but as history has shown us, they must never occur during daylight hours, like what happened in Russia in northern Siberia. But there wasn't just one UFO, it was three. And some of these, I guess, scientists, researchers, or whatever, were talking about what the explanation might be. And they said the main theory is that it's something illuminated by the sun. Duh. A UFO can be illuminated by the sun. It could be balloons, paper lanterns.
It could be a lot of things.
Yeah, but she also said, yeah, and then they threw this in, or it could be aliens checking up on that part of the world to see how we're dealing with the pandemic that they may or may not have unleashed on the earth.
I've been telling you from day one, they are either observing or part of it somehow. I even wondered if the government's trying to run us all in the house so they can pass unnoticed. And I think there was an article I saw too, where there have been fleets.
Well, talking about the dream stuff, I dreamed a couple weeks ago now that there was so many of those giant ships that the sky was full of nothing but them. They were just
scary. When I just said that, though, oddly enough, I got a chill up my spine, and it kind of made me think, oh, God, what's that about? So I don't know what that was about, but just, hey, I just got a chill up my spine. We were talking about fleets of UFOs overhead, so for what it's worth.
Yeah, wow. Okay. I guess that's about all I had written down, kind of just jotted down for today. Is there anything else that you want to talk about or any parting thoughts for us? And by the way, I told Angela before we started recording, first week of May, I'm going to be back over at her house live doing this. You can take that to the next.
Okay, I will be taking your temperature before you're allowed to step foot inside. We'll see.
Anyway.
No, it sounds good to me. I'm ready to go live again. I've gotten attached to this medium here, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So anyway, so what can you foresee coming up in until we get together again next week, or just what do you feel like you want to leave us with?
Continue to guard your loins. It's still a bumpy ride, but I feel like listen to me, when you're in your calm place, and if you don't have a calm place, get in one. Best time is when you're almost asleep. And again, things to help you go to sleep, by the way, start with your 4-7-8 breathing. That breathe in on the count of 4, hold for 7 seconds, breathe out for 8 seconds. Okay, do that. And then imagine, daydream something pleasant, something good. I used to imagine getting like I'd won $1 million, and then after I put up some money in my imagination, I'd always have to take care of my security and kids. But then I would give gifts to people, and I would always want to give my friends and parents. At that time, I was a teenager. I didn't have kids, but in my imaginary kids, whatever, a TV, because their TV didn't work well, and it bothered me, and they didn't care. But I wanted to buy them a TV. I always start there, and before I could even get to the next gift that I was going to give somebody, I would usually be asleep. But anyway, actually, I found out not so long ago that kind of stuff, that imagining yourself doing something that's pleasant, is actually very helpful to put you to sleep. And I'm telling you, it does. It really is very helpful. So evidently, there's going to be some people with sleep issues, okay? Because evidently, I'm supposed to say that. So work on trying to get your rest and your balance. And then walk, if you live in a town or something, try to get a plant, try to get something green, because studies have shown, and just common sense has shown, that I think 20 minutes of being in nature can alter your mood. It can alter your health, your well-being. So try to get some green space. If you can get some green space, try to get that. So try to get you sleep, try to get your green space, do your socializing. But it's like, listen to your body. If something makes things worse, don't do that. If something makes things better, try to do that. And if you can get help, I have to get the boys other Nana, I got to get some help. It's like, come get this child or whatever. Sometimes you have to have help. The end. You do. And that's just the way that is. But I don't know what else I should say. Expect more intensity of energy. Creativity could be very high. And if you want to do anything that's creative, for gosh sakes, to do it. Secrets could be revealed. I don't know what I mean by that, but you heard me. Be careful of what you say, because you might be the one blabbing your friend's secrets or your own, but it could be also in a big way too. And I do feel that UFO activity is going to be on the increase big time, and maybe over North Carolina. And again, I will say, you can come here and show me. I'd like to see you. If I do move, I won't have my wonderful view that I have now. I've got like 7 messages in a row just come in from that kid. That makes me want to go get him. But I just want to look over to the east one morning and see it before if I do move, because I feel like that's where they are. And I don't know. I think that's all I'm supposed to say about that. Try not to run over the groundhogs. They're everywhere.
Okay. That's one that just reminds me of one good thing right now with the pace of life being a little bit slower, is the animals they're being allowed to recover in many places, and not as many being run over and all that kind of stuff.
Oh my God, I read that too, that so many things are recuperating, and it made me feel I can't stand us. We need to stop breeding or something. Just, you know, good gosh, let the animals have some space. Let the animals have some space. Let the plants grow. Let Earth heal. Earth is killing us. It is killing us. And I don't blame it. I don't blame it. Earth is taking what is available to it, whether it be, you know, a disease from a bat or some chemical in a factory. It don't matter. It is nature taking hold of it and using it to cleanse this planet of the plague that is us. We were given this place and told to be stewards of it. And evidently, we don't know how to define steward, because this is not stewardship. This is running down the neighborhood. That was Earth, is what this is. Now I got fired up. I hope you're happy.
Well, on that note,
getting fired up is going to happen, by the way. Expect people to be fired up. And that sound you're hearing is the dishwasher. It's a long story. It's draining. It's all good. Don't worry. And why James Moore always needs to do the dishwasher at exactly the time we do this, I will never know. But it doesn't even matter when it is. That's when it happens. So it's all good. It's all good.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And I will be talking to you again. And in 2 weeks, or I guess maybe it'll be 3 weeks before it's May, but I'm going to be over there.
I'll be glad to see you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We'll talk to you later. How do you sign off again?
You just stay right there. Okay. You don't do a thing.
I'll do anything.